Doug Wiley with Blue Help. I'm here with Rod Rifredi. Rod, recently we had the opportunity to be in a room with a group of very brave, very powerful widows whose spouses died by suicide. Law enforcement officers who tragically took their own lives. Very difficult presentation to sit through at times because of how emotional that subject is, but there were some really important takeaways that I think that we can bring back to our agencies and to our organizations. What were some of your impressions of that seminar?
It was very impactful. I think probably one of the most important takeaway is we need to be more open and transparent and less concerned about people's personal lives in the workspace. They're still our partners, our employees, and our friends when they leave the station. We need to be concerned with what's going on at home and at work. One of the survivors mentioned that the husband was one way at work and would come home a completely different way. And maybe if some of that communication was going on with the partners, it could have been more holistic. And I know that in a lot of times in the administrative side, departments are afraid of that. They're afraid of getting involved in people's personal lives. I take it it's actually their duty to ensure that their personal lives are just as solid as their professional life. We don't work in an easy job. We do and see things that normal people just shouldn't see and do, but yet we expect them, we expect our officers to just walk away with it normal.
Shrug it off like it was nothing.
Shrug it off.
And there is this stigma still, even in these days we know about PTSD, PTSI, and accumulated stress and all of those things. There's still a stigma of trying to find, seek, and get help, whether that's a professional doctor or it's a priest or a pastor. There's this line a lot of officers still seem to not be able to cross. How can we change the culture of allowing yourself to get help?
It's just that we need to change the culture, and we need to do it top down. The generations coming in now are very open to communication and constant communication and talking about how they feel and what makes them feel different ways. Sadly, my generation is not. And I think if a lot of leaders were to sit in that room yesterday,
right,
it would change.
How do we communicate some of the things that Karen Solomon and the rest of the folks at Blue Help are doing? Communicate that message of making change in the organization to the people who can actually affect change, the chiefs, the administrators, even down to the line officer. But how do we get that word to them?
So we just had, out in California, had Cal chiefs, the assembly of all the police chiefs for a conference. Getting Karen's group, Blue Help, into organizations like that on a regular basis, along with the survivors. So those people making the decisions have to sit there face to face and listen to the story on the other side of the door. I understand a lot of administrators like to look at officers as numbers and as pins on a map. They have to remember those are families, those are people, and we can't just move them around and take them off. It takes more, it affects more than just that.
Right.
And those are the people, the chiefs, the stars and bars, as I like to call them, the chiefs and captains and lieutenants, that can really start this cultural change and get the ball rolling to maybe more mandatory annual check-ins with department psychs and having on board someone who's walking around the station, jumping in the car and doing ride-alongs. I like to call it mobile therapy. But regular check-ins and making it the norm.
Right.
And not just after a shooting or after a bad incident, then you have to go see the shrink.
Yeah.
Make it a normal day-to-day operation.
Rod, thank you very much for your time and for your thoughts today.
All right, thank you.